Hello students, welcome to Dakshina E-Classroom. So here we are discussing the section F of exercise 1 of center of mass. So it has question from collision. F1 is a body is moving towards a finite body which is initially at rest. A body is moving towards a finite body which is initially at rest and collides with it. In the absence of any external impulsive force, it is not possible that. So we have four options. Out of those four options, which condition is not possible in this case? So we have a body which is initially at rest and another body which is moving towards it. Let's say with some velocity v1. Clear? So first option is both the bodies will come to rest. So here what we are going to apply? Again we are going to apply conservation of linear momentum. Why? Because when we are seeing this condition, if we take this plus this as a system, then when they are colliding, they'll apply some force on each other. But for the complete system, that force is going to be internal. And for the complete system, we can say the momentum is conserved. So initial momentum P initial is, let's say it is m1 and this is m2. So initial momentum is m1 v1. So final momentum should also be m1 v1. And if both the bodies will come to rest after collision, or in this situation, if both the bodies will come to rest, then the initial momentum was m1 v1, final momentum will be 0, momentum will not be conserved. But here we are not applying any external force, there is no friction or anything else, it is not given in the question. So in the absence of any external impulsive force, the system is going to have this momentum conserved. So finally, if both are coming to rest, it is not possible. Because if they will come to rest, momentum will become 0, which is not possible. The system should have some momentum which is equal to m1 v1. Clear? So both cannot come to rest. So first will be the answer, that first condition is not possible. Let's talk about 2, 3 and 4. So both the bodies will move after collision. Definitely. So it will hit this body and they will move after collision. It will have some velocity, this will have some velocity. They will have their velocities such that m1 v1 is equal to, let's say after collision its velocity is u1 and its velocity is u2. Then it will be m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So after collision, if it is having u1 velocity, this is having u2 velocity. So initial momentum should be equal to final momentum. They can have some value u1 and u2. So they may move after collision. Third, the moving body comes to rest and stationary body starts moving. Yes, that is also possible. Here u1 will become 0 and u2 will become equals to, u2 will become, if this will become 0, then u2 will be equal to m1 v1 divided by m2. So this is possible. Clear? And also what can happen? Let's say we have seen some cases when this body is moving and this body is stationary. Let's say both the bodies have same mass. What they will do, they'll exchange their velocities. So this will come to rest and it will start moving with v1. And if they have some different masses, then it was moving with v1. It will move with u2. u2 will be equal to m1 v1 by m2. Here we are saying that this has come to rest. So this part has become 0. Now when we will equate, we will get u2 equals to this. So this case is also possible. Fourth, the stationary body remains stationary. The moving body has not changed its velocity. The stationary body remains stationary and the body which was moving, it is still moving. Yes, this is possible, but before collision we have this situation that this is moving and this is stationary. But both will come to at rest. This is not possible at all. So first option will be the answer. F2, a block moving in air explodes in two parts then just after explosion. A block moving in air explodes in two parts then just after collision. First, the momentum must be conserved. Yes, definitely. When it is exploding, whatever is happening, that is internal for that block. So we have no external force on that system, momentum will be conserved. Second, the total kinetic energy of the two parts must be same as that of block before explosion. No, this is not correct. Momentum must be conserved, but we cannot say anything about kinetic energy. Clear? And definitely we cannot say that it will be equal. We will find out the final velocities after the explosion, the velocities of two blocks, and then we can find out the kinetic energy. And definitely when explosion happens, there is some released energy. Some energy gets released and that is used or that is converted into the kinetic energy. We have seen some cases when a bomb is kept at rest and suddenly it explodes and the parts start moving in different directions. So basically, when explosion is happening, there is some release of energy and that energy is getting used in kinetic energy. So after the explosion, kinetic energy of the system will increase. So it is not going to remain same. The total momentum must change. No, momentum should not change. It must not change. Why? Because net external force on the system is 0. Fourth, the kinetic energy, the total kinetic energy must not be increased. But definitely it will increase. So must not be increased is wrong. So first option is correct. F3, in head-on elastic collision of two bodies of equal masses, it is not possible. Which condition is not possible? We have to tell this. So when we have head-on elastic collision between two equal masses, what we get that they are interchanging their velocities. Whatever was the velocity of m1, it will be given to m2, and whatever was the velocity of m2, it will be given to m1. So they are changing their velocities. If they are changing their velocities, it means they are changing their speeds, or you can say magnitude of velocity as well as the direction. Basically interchanging or exchanging. So they are exchanging or interchanging their velocities. If they are interchanging their velocities, it means that they will interchange their speeds, they will interchange their momentum. So all these three options, 1, 2 and 3. One is the velocities are interchanged, so that is correct. The speeds are interchanged, that is correct. The momenta are interchanged, that is correct. And they are asking which is not possible. So fourth option is the faster body speeds up and the slower body slows down. Faster body speeds up and slower body slows down. Let's take this case. So first is moving in this direction, second is moving in this direction. Both have same masses. Now when they will collide, definitely for collision anything can be greater than the other one. So let's say here we are taking u1 is greater than u2. u1 is greater than u2. So when they will have collision, an impulsive force will act on this object, an impulsive force will act on this object. So basically both are going to slow down. Its velocity was in this direction and impulsive force is in this direction. Its velocity was in this direction and the impulsive force is in this direction. It means definitely it is going to slow down. Both are going to slow down. Next, which case is possible that this one is moving in this direction and this one is moving in this direction? Clear? Only these two cases are possible if they are going to collide. Clear? So now, or what we can say, this one is moving in this direction and this one is also moving in this direction. In that case, we will have to take, like in this case, we have to take u1 greater than u2 if they are colliding. If we are taking the u1, u2 direction here, in that case, we will have to take u2 greater than u1. So those two are almost same cases. So now u1 is greater than u2. In this case, both are slowing down. Both are slowing down. So fourth statement is still, we don't know about it. We have still confusion in that. So let's talk about this case. Only these two cases are possible. So when they will collide, an impulsive force will act on this body in this direction and an impulsive force will act on this body in this direction. Now what is happening? This body is speeding up because velocity is in this direction, impulsive force is also in this direction. So this body is speeding up, this body is slowing down. Velocity is in this direction, impulsive force is in opposite direction. So this body is slowing down. So basically faster body is slowing down and slower body means the one which was having less velocity, slower body is speeding up. So here the fourth option is faster body speeds up and slower body slows down. So that is wrong. Faster body slows down and slower body speeds up. So fourth option is not possible. Question number F4. A massive ball moving with speed v collides head-on with a tiny ball at rest having a mass very less than the mass of the first ball. If the collision is elastic, then immediately after the impact, the second ball will move with a speed approximately equal to. So when we were doing the calculation or the derivation for elastic head-on collision, and we had taken two cases. First case was when m1 is equal to m2 and second case was when m1 is very much greater than m2. And in that case we had found out that when there is a head-on elastic collision between two bodies and out of those two, one is very small or having very less mass and another one is having very high mass, then what happens? The massive body, the one which is having a very high mass, keeps with its velocity doesn't change. even after collision its velocity doesn't change. So if it was at rest, it remains at rest, and if it was moving with some velocity, it continues to move with that velocity. And we had seen that if, let's say, the smaller body is at rest, if smaller body is at rest and the bigger body is coming with some velocity v towards this smaller body, after collision the smaller body will start moving with 2v and the bigger body will continue to move with velocity v. So in that case we had taken some approximation. We had taken m is very much greater than small m, or m1 is very much greater than m2, and the ratio m2 by m1 we have taken approximately equals to 0. That's why it is using the word approximately in the question, because that is an approximation. So let's talk about that direction one more time. So what we can do, they are given that this is, let's say, capital M is the massive body and small m is the tiny body. It is moving with v towards this body and this is kept at rest. So what we will do, we will use two equations, conservation of linear momentum and other one is coefficient of restitution. So if we talk about coefficient of restitution, it is 1. It means velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. For elastic collision, velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach and E is equal to 1. So velocity of approach is, this is kept at rest, it is approaching with speed v. So velocity of approach is equal to v. Velocity of separation, let's take its velocity is u1 and its velocity is u2. So velocity of separation will be u1 minus u2. This is trying to get separated with velocity u1 and this is approaching with u2. So velocity of separation will be u1 minus u2. It is trying to separate and it is trying to approach. So net separation will be u1 minus u2. So velocity of approach is equal to velocity of separation. Another equation will come from conservation of linear momentum. So capital M V, this is initial momentum. Finally mu1 plus m capital mu2 plus mu1. Now the approximation is m is very much greater than small m. Clear? So what we can write, m divided by m is very much less than 1. It means it is approximately equals to 0. m divided by m is very much less than 1. इसको इधर लेके जाओगे. So it is approximately equals to 0. So now what I am doing, here we have, let's put this value here. So m into u1 minus u2 is equal to m u2 plus m u1. So m u1 minus m u2. This thing I have already done in the lecture, but just for revision we can revise it here. So now what I want to find out, I want to find out u1. So I will take u1 common. So here I have u1 capital M minus m is equal to 2m u2. 2m u2. So u1 is equal to 2m u2 divided by m minus m. Now divide in numerator and denominator by capital M. Divide in numerator and denominator by capital M. So u1 is equal to 2m u2 divided by m minus m divided by capital M. So from here what we are getting, 2u2, and if you divide it separately, this divided by m, this divided by m, this is approximately equals to 0 and this is 1. So 2u2 divided by 1 minus 0, it is 1. So u1 is equal to 2u2. So u1 is equal to 2u2. It means after collision, if it is moving with u2, this will move with double of that velocity. And now we know that the for massive body, it will continue to move with the initial velocity. It means u2 is equal to, we have v. u2 is equal to, we have v. It means u1 is equal to 2v. So it will continue to move with its velocity because it doesn't know, it has not realized that it got collided with a very tiny object. उसको पता ही नहीं चला that it has collided with a very tiny object. But this body will feel that force because its mass is very less. If you apply very small force, it will get accelerated. Clear? So here, what we have, it will continue to move with that velocity, and its final velocity will be 2v. Clear? And if you want to find out from this equation, what we can do, v is equal to, we have u1 minus u2. Put u1 here. V is equal to 2u2 minus u2. So v is equal to u2. See, v is equal to u2. So if we are taking this approximation, in that case, it will continue to move with the same velocity. If we have one object with very high mass, then it will continue to move with the same velocity even after collision. and this body which was at rest, it will start moving with double the velocity of the massive object. So in question what they have given, that the bigger mass is moving with v velocity and it is hitting the tiny object which was kept at rest, then after collision the tiny object will start moving with double the velocity of massive object. Clear ये चीज? So this is happening when we are taking the approximation. That's why they are saying approximately. Also, why it continued to move with the same velocity? Because its mass is very high, है ना? उस छोटे से पार्टिकल से कोलाइड करके it has not realized or it has not felt any force or that small force. और अब इसमें क्या है, इसकी वेलोसिटी में बहुत स्मॉल चेंज आएगा, वेरी स्मॉल चेंज, बट दैट स्मॉल चेंज कैन बी नेग्लेक्टेड, दैट स्मॉल चेंज कैन बी नेग्लेक्टेड. दैट्स व्हाई अप्रोक्सीमेटली, भाई इसकी वेलोसिटी चेंज होती है बट अप्रोक्सीमेटली इट रिमेन्स द सेम, अप्रोक्सीमेटली उतनी ही रहती है. सो इफ द मैसिव ऑब्जेक्ट इज मूविंग विथ v and it is hitting a tiny object which is kept at rest, then after collision that tiny object will start moving with double the velocity of the massive object. So the answer will be second option, 2v. Now question number F5. A ball of mass m moving with uniform speed collides elastically with another stationary ball. The incident ball will lose maximum kinetic energy when the mass of stationary ball is. So here what we have, head-on elastic collision. So they are saying that a ball of mass small m moving with uniform speed collides elastically with another stationary ball. Other ball is stationary. The incident ball will lose maximum kinetic energy when the mass of the stationary ball is. So इसको आप दो तरीकों से कर सकते हो. If you remember the formula of velocity which we had calculated, तो आप डायरेक्टली वो यूज कर लो, ठीक है. इफ यू डोंट वांट टू रिमेंबर दैट फॉर्मूला, और नहीं करना चाहिए, कितनी सारी चीजें ऑलरेडी हैं हमारे पास याद रखने के लिए. सो सिंपली व्हाट वी कैन डू, वी कैन यूज द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम एंड कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन. टू इक्वेशंस, टू वेरिएबल्स, सिंपली विल बी एबल टू फाइंड आउट. बट अब हमें कुछ स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट हमें याद है. We know that if we have mass m1, m2, it is moving with u1, u2. After collision, its velocity is v1 and its velocity is v2. We have got some results. So if we have different masses m1 and m2, तो कुछ ना कुछ u1, u2, v1 and u1, u2 से जा रहे हैं, तो कुछ ना कुछ v1, v2 की वैल्यू आती है फॉर इलास्टिक कोलिजन. हमने डेराइव भी किया था. और अगर नहीं याद है तो हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, कंजर्वेशन ऑफ लीनियर मोमेंटम. सो वेलोसिटी ऑफ अप्रोच इज u1 माइनस u2. u1 से अप्रोच कर रहा है एंड इट इज ट्राइंग टू सेपरेट. सो जो कंबाइंड अप्रोच की वेलोसिटी क्या हो जाएगी, u1 माइनस u2 इज इक्वल टू वेलोसिटी ऑफ सेपरेशन v2 माइनस v1. दूसरा क्या है, m1 u1 प्लस m2 u2 इज इक्वल टू m1 v1 प्लस m2 v2. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे इससे हमने सॉल्व किया तो हमारे पास आया था v1 इज इक्वल टू 2m2 u2 डिवाइडेड बाई m1 प्लस m2 प्लस m1 माइनस m2 डिवाइडेड बाई m1 प्लस m2 इंटू u1. एंड v2 आया था, दिस इज फॉर इलास्टिक कोलिजन, 2m1 u1 डिवाइडेड बाई m1 प्लस m2 माइनस m1 माइनस m2 डिवाइडेड बाई m1 प्लस m2 इंटू u2. क्लियर. अब हम यहाँ पे सॉल्व भी करके बता सकते हैं इसको. अब इसमें हमें कुछ स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट याद है. जैसे ये क्वेश्चन हम लोग, आपको जब आंसर करना होगा डेफिनेटली यू विल बी एबल टू डू इट फास्टर. एक्सप्लेन करने में टाइम लग रहा है. सो अब यहाँ पे क्या है, हम लोगों को बोला कि मैक्सिमम काइनेटिक एनर्जी कब लूज करेगा दिस ऑब्जेक्ट हैज मास m एंड इट इज मूविंग विद सम स्पीड, with some uniform speed, let's say u. So जो second object should have some mass. It will have some mass. What should be the value of that mass such that it loses its maximum kinetic energy? So अब क्या है, maximum kinetic energy इसके पास कितनी है, half m u square. This is the kinetic energy of this mass. अब ये क्या ये possible है कि it will lose completely lose its kinetic energy? Is that possible? क्योंकि अगर इसने completely अपनी kinetic energy lose कर दिया, it means मैक्सिमम लॉस हो गया काइनेटिक एनर्जी का, एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी वांट फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. तो यस, ये कर सकता है कब, व्हेन दिस इज m और रेस्ट में तो रखा हुआ है, ये हमको ऑलरेडी गिवन है दैट दिस ऑब्जेक्ट इज केप्ट एट रेस्ट. So if this object has mass m, then both the objects will have equal mass. It will completely give its velocity to this object and खुद क्या जाएगा, rest में आ जाएगा, because we know that when two objects having equal mass are colliding with each other head-on and elastic, in that case they will completely interchange their velocities. तो ये आ जाएगा rest में और ये चलेगा u से, and in that case it has completely transferred its kinetic energy, it has completely transferred its momentum, it has completely transferred its velocity to the other object. So इसका मास क्या होना चाहिए, m होना चाहिए, और हमें पता है कि अगर this is m1, this is m2, let's say ये m है और ये कुछ m dash है. If this is different, then definitely it will have some final velocity v1, it will have some final velocity v2, and this is not going to be zero. Its velocity v1 is not going to be zero. वो हम यहाँ से find out करेंगे तो हमें वो velocity मिलेगी. तो maximum loss of velocity और maximum loss of kinetic energy for this object will be when this is m as well as this object is m. तो जब ये m होगा, it will completely give its kinetic energy, momentum, velocity to this object, and we will have maximum loss in kinetic energy. So what should be the answer? Answer होना चाहिए m, की जो second body है its mass should be m. Clear? Question number F6. In a collision between two solid spheres, velocity of separation along the line of impact, assume no external force acts on the system of two spheres during impact, cannot be greater than the velocity of approach. So what they are saying, in a collision between two solid spheres, velocity of separation and velocity of approach, and there is no external force, so all that there is an ideal condition for conservation of linear momentum basically. So we have to tell which option is correct. First is cannot be greater than the velocity of approach, cannot be less than velocity of approach, cannot be equal to velocity of approach, none of these. So here we know coefficient of restitution is equal to velocity of separation divided by velocity of approach. Clear? And E lies between 0 to 1. It means velocity of separation by velocity of approach is 0 to 1. Basically, it is greater than 0 and less than 1. So from this inequality, what we can write, velocity of separation is less than velocity of approach. So for collision, velocity of separation is less than velocity of approach. So in a collision between two spheres, velocity of separation along the line of impact cannot be greater than the velocity of approach. Yes, it is. Velocity of separation is less than velocity of approach. It cannot be greater than velocity of approach. So first option is correct. Second was cannot be less than velocity of approach. But definitely it is less than velocity of approach. तो ये option तो cannot be less than velocity of approach is wrong statement. Cannot be equal to velocity of approach, this is also wrong statement, because ये coefficient of restitution क्या होता है, यहाँ पे equal भी होता है ना, तो जब हमारे पास E is equal to 1 है, then velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. So answer will be the first option. Question number F7. In the figure shown, the block A collides head-on with another block B at rest. Mass of B is twice the mass of A. The block A stops after the collision. The coefficient of restitution is. So here we have M and 2M. It is moving with, in the figure shown, A collides with B. Mass of B is twice mass of A. A stops after collision. The coefficient of restitution is, let's say it is U and it is at rest initially. Finally, it has come to rest and this is moving with some velocity, let's say V. So here we have velocity of approach, E is equal to velocity of separation divided by velocity of approach. ये रेस्ट में है, U से अप्रोच कर रहा है, ये रेस्ट में है, ये V से सेपरेट हो रहा है. So velocity of separation by velocity of approach. Now we have one more condition, that this is the twice of this mass. So if we conserve the momentum, mu is equal to 2mv. From here we have u is equal to 2v. So I can write v is equal to v divided by u, which is 2v. So from here we got E is equal to 1 by 2, that is 0.5. Clear? Question number F8. So F7 first option. F8. A sphere of mass m moving with a constant velocity hits another stationary sphere of the same mass. If E is the coefficient of restitution, then ratio of speeds of the first sphere to the speed of the second sphere after the collision will be. So here coefficient of restitution is E. One has mass m, another one is also having mass m. First is kept at rest, first is moving with some velocity initially and second one is kept at rest initially. So we have to tell the speeds of the spheres after collision. So here we have m, it is moving with some velocity, let's say u, and this is at rest. Finally its velocity is v1, its velocity is v2. So we have E is equal to velocity of separation v2 minus v1, velocity of approach u1 minus u2. Clear? So v2 minus v1 divided by u, and also mu is equal to mv1 plus mv2. Clear? So u is equal to v1 plus v2 and eu is equal to v2 minus v1 from here. So if we add it, we will get 1 plus e into u is equal to 2v2. So v2 is equal to 1 plus e into u by 2, and v1 is equal to, from this equation what we can write, v1 is equal to u minus v2. So v1 is equal to u minus 1 plus e by 2u. So v1 is equal to 2u minus eu divided by 2. It is u minus u into 1 minus e divided by 2. So v1 is equal to u into 1 minus e divided by 2. v2 is equal to 1 plus e divided by 2. So it will be 1 minus e divided by 1 plus e. Here 1 minus e divided by 1 plus e. Option 1 is the answer. F9. A ball rebounds after colliding with the floor. Then in case of inelastic collision, the momentum of the ball before and after collision is same. So if we talk about the ball, now we are considering only ball. If we talk about ball plus floor system, that is different. But for ball, if it is inelastic collision, then momentum of the ball after the collision will be same. No, it has some impulsive force acting on it. जैसे collide किया, it has some impulsive force acting on it. So its momentum will change. Second, the mechanical energy of the ball is conserved. No, inelastic collision में तो वैसे भी conserved नहीं होती because some energy loss is happening during the collision. Third, the total momentum of the earth ball system is conserved. Yes, when you are talking about conservation of momentum, you have to take both the bodies in the same system. So here collision is between the ball and the earth. So for earth and ball system, momentum will be conserved. But if you talk about only ball or only earth, their momentum is going to change. For earth, momentum change in momentum will be very small because it's a massive object. And for object, that ball, the change in momentum will be very high because it is very tiny. So the total momentum of the earth ball system is conserved. That is correct. And first option is wrong because we are talking about the momentum of only ball. So only the momentum of only ball will change. Fourth, the total kinetic energy of the earth and ball is conserved. No, because it will lose some velocity, it will lose some kinetic energy. Clear? So fourth option is also wrong. So answer will be third option. F10. A ball is allowed to fall from a height 8 cm. If the ball is perfectly elastic, how much it rise after the rebound? If the ball is perfectly elastic. So if the collision is happening, elastic collision is happening, then there is no energy loss. So it will come with velocity. It is dropped from height 8 cm. So it will come down and it will hit the floor with some velocity. Let's say it is v. And definitely its value will be root 2 gh, where h is going to be equal to 8 cm. So it is going to have some velocity when it is hitting the floor. After collision, because e was equal to 1, after collision its velocity will remain same. Because it is not, there is no what we can say loss. With whatever velocity it has approached, with the same velocity it is going to get reflected. So after collision also it will have the same speed. So now ऐसे collide हुआ, it collided here with velocity v and it will go back with velocity v. So if it is going back with velocity v, it will go to the same height, है ना? Simply here we have 8 cm, from 8 cm it was dropped. So what I can write? Potential energy here and kinetic energy here. Okay? So we can conserve the velocities. After the collision, it has some kinetic energy and it is same, it is still half mv square because collision is elastic, so it will reflect with the same speed. So now it is half mv square, so it will go up to the same height. Clear? So when you have elastic collision after the rebound, it is going to go to the same height. Clear? And that magic ball which we play with, that magic ball has some elastic coefficient of restitution. It is approximately equals to 1, and that's why it goes back to the almost same height. For 2-3 rebounds it goes to the same height. After 2-3 rebounds it will lose some velocity because slowly, because the coefficient of restitution is not exactly equal to 1, it will lose some kinetic energy, but it will lose a very less kinetic energy. That's why for 1-2 rebounds it looks like it is going to the same height. So the answer will be 8 centimeter. Question number F11. A particle of mass m1 moving with velocity 5 meter per second collides head-on with a stationary particle of mass m2. After collision, both the particles move with a common velocity of 4 meter per second. Then the value of m1 is to m2 is. So they are moving with a common velocity 4 meter per second. So initially we have m1 which is moving with velocity 5 meter per second, and it is hitting the another mass m2 which is initially stationary. After collision, both are moving with common velocity 4 meter per second. So if we do P initial is equal to P final, what we can write? 5 m1 is equal to m1 plus m2 into 4. And here we have a common velocities. It means the collision was completely inelastic because velocity of separation is 0. Now they are not separating at all, so velocity of separation is 0, so is equal to 0. So now if they are saying that this is the condition, so we have to find out what is the ratio m1 is to m2. m1 is to m2 हमें find out करना है. So what we can do from here, if you divide the whole equation by m1, I can write 5 is equal to 1 plus m2 by m1 into 4. So 5 by 4 minus 1 is equal to m2 by m1. So 1 by 4 is equal to m2 by m1. So we have to find out m1 by m2. So m1 by m2 will be equal to 4 by 1, or ratio m1 is to m2 will be equal to 4 is to 1. Question number F12. A body of mass m1 collides head-on elastically with another stationary body of mass m2. If velocities of m1 and m1 before and after collision are v and minus v by 3 respectively, then the value of m1 is to m2 is. So again we have velocities. So we have two bodies. m1, it is moving with speed v and it is colliding with a body which is kept at rest, and before collision its speed was v, after collision its speed is minus v by 3. It means we can say v by 3 in this direction, and it is given that collision is elastic. So E is equal to, again we have 1, and here let's take its final velocity is v2. So first equation which we can use is m1 into v is equal to m1 into v by 3 plus m2 v2. Here we have minus. Another equation will come from elastic coefficient of restitution. So what we can write? Velocity of separation. So velocity of separation will be v2 minus v1. So velocity of separation v2 minus v1. So v1 is minus v by 3. So minus v by 3 is equal to velocity of approach. It is at rest. It is moving with v. So v minus 0. So v2 I can write v plus v by 3. Here it will go in this direction. It will become minus v by 3. So we have 2v by 3. So now I can put that value here. So m1 into v is equal to minus m1 v by 3 plus m2 2v by 3. Now we want to find out m1 by m2. So divide by m2, m2, m2. So here we have m1 by m2. m1 by m2 into v plus v by 3. v plus v by 3. Here also we have m1 by m2 is equal to 2v by 3. So v plus v by 3 will be 4v by 3. So from here we can write m1 by m2 is equal to half, or 0.5. So m1 is to m2 is 0.5. Third option. Question number F13. A sphere of mass 0.1 kg is attached to a cord of length 1 meter. Starting from the height of its point of suspension, this sphere hits a block of same mass at rest on frictionless table. If the impact is elastic, then the kinetic energy of the block after the collision is. So the question is something like this. It is suspended at this point. A sphere of mass 0.1 kg. So let's say it was like this. Starting from the height of its point of suspension. So this is the height of point of suspension. So this object was brought up to here and then it was released from there, and at the bottommost point this sphere hits a block of mass m at the frictionless table. यहाँ पे एक block है which is kept on the rest at frictionless table, which has same mass 0.1 kg, and this block hits this. If the impact is elastic. Now this is the simple collision between two objects of same mass. Two objects of same mass. This is also 0.1, this is also 0.1. Now it will come like this with some velocity, and this it will have some tension force acting on this sphere, but again that force is completely vertical and collision is happening in horizontal direction. So whatever we have done head-on elastic collision for the same masses, we can use the same thing. So now when it will come down to this point, it will have some velocity. So after, if the impact is elastic, then the kinetic energy of the block after collision is. So now height is not given. You don't know the length of the cord, but no problem. When it will come down here, it will have some, let's say this height is h. So it will have some velocity. So mgh is equal to half mv square I can write. From there we can find out the velocity at this point. But now I know that this object, ये जो object है, this object, when it will come to this point, they are of the same masses, so they will change their velocities. So it was at rest and it was having some velocity v. So after the collision, it will move with the same velocity and it will come to rest. This object will come to rest. So when it came to this point, its velocity was root 2 gh. So this will start moving with root 2 gh velocity and the sphere will come to rest. So we have to find out then the kinetic energy of the block after the collision is. So here the length of the cord is given. Okay, length of the cord is given, so we can find out the potential energy at this point. It is m is 0.1, g is 10, h is 1. So it is 1 joule. So it means this object has 1 joule potential energy here. When it will come down, it will have 1 joule kinetic energy here. Now what is going to happen? After the collision, it will come to rest completely and it will give its complete velocity to this object. So it will start moving with v velocity and it will have energy equals to half mv square. So basically whatever energy this sphere was having at this point, that got converted into kinetic energy at this point, and after collision it has completely transferred the kinetic energy to this object. So this block will start moving with the v velocity and it will have kinetic energy equal to half mv square, which will be equal to 1 joule. Clear है चीज? So basically because here we have elastic head-on collision between two objects, it is completely transferring its velocity and its kinetic energy and its momentum to this object. So simply this object was having 1 joule energy here, 1 joule energy here. So now it will have 1 joule energy after the collision. Clear? So its kinetic energy will be 1 joule. Question number F14. Two identical smooth spheres A and B are moving with same velocity and collides with similar spheres C and D, then after collision. So the setup is something like this. A and B, these are identical spheres and they collide with again two identical spheres C and D. Two identical smooth spheres A and B are moving with same velocity and collides with similar spheres C and D, then after collision. Consider one-dimensional motion. First option is D will move with greater speed, C and D will move with same velocity v, C will stop and D will move with velocity v. All spheres A, B, C, D will move with velocity v by 2. So basically if you see this is a system of mass, let's say 2m, and which is moving with velocity v. This is a system of mass 2m which is kept at rest. So after the collision, these two systems are identical. These two systems are identical. So when they will collide, if the collision is elastic and head-on, then what will happen? C and D will move with the same velocity v. Okay? So this will start, this system will come to rest and this will start moving with the same velocity v. Clear edges? So simply what will happen? They will interchange their velocities. Both these systems are identical, so we can say it is a collision between two same masses. So it will move with the same velocity which this system was moving. So C and D will move with the same velocity v. Question number F15. A ball is allowed to fall from a height 1 meter. If the value of the coefficient of restitution is 0.6, then after the impact, ball will go up to what height? So here what we have? It was allowed to fall from height equals to 1 meter. So its velocity when it will come down will be root 2g. Clear? After collision its velocity will be e times root 2g, which is equal to 0.6 times root 2g. Clear? Its velocity will be e times root 2g. Now velocity is equal to this much. So half m v square 0.6 times root 2g is equal to mgh dash. mgh dash. So now what we can write? H dash is equal to half 0.6 square 2g is equal to gh dash. So gg will cancel, 2 will cancel, h dash is equal to 0.36 meter. It will be equal to 0.36 meter. So simply how you can do, और क्या तरीका है? ये तो हमें ऐसे मिल गया भाई 1 मीटर हाइट से नीचे गिरा, it will have some velocity v. ठीक है, 1 मीटर हाइट से गिरा, it will have some velocity v. Afterwards it will have velocity ev. So initially mg into 1 meter is equal to half m v square. ठीक है, don't calculate. And then mg into h dash is equal to half m ev square. So e square v square. So now we have mg cancel, h dash half m cancel, h dash divided by initial h, or you can say 1 meter is equal to e square, just e square. So e square is equal to 0.36. Clear? तो यहाँ पे ये सब कैलकुलेट करने की भी हमें जरूरत नहीं है. When you will practice more questions on this, आपको धीरे धीरे ये फास्टर कैसे करना है क्वेश्चंस को आने लगेगा. So answer will be 0.36 meter. Question number F16. A ball of mass m moving with velocity v collides elastically with another ball of identical mass coming from the opposite direction with velocity 2v. Their velocities after collision are. So this is moving with v and this is moving with 2v. So it is given that collision is head-on and elastic, masses are equal. So definitely they will collide like this, and after collision it will move with its velocity and this will move with its velocity. So it will move with 2v in this direction and this will move with v in this direction. Okay? So basically they are going to interchange their velocities. So answer will be minus 2v and v. And next question is F17. A sphere of mass capital M moving with velocity u collides head-on and elastically with a sphere of mass m at rest, small m at rest. After collision, their respective velocities are capital V and small v. The value of small v is. So this is moving with velocity u and with a sphere of mass m. This is at rest initially. After collision, it is moving with v and this is moving with small v, capital V and small v. Then the value of small v is. So here what we have, capital M u is equal to capital M capital V plus small m small v. Also the collision is head-on and elastic. So velocity of approach is equal to velocity of separation. So from here what we can write, just replace this here. So we will have m into small v minus capital V is equal to mv plus mv. Okay? So from here which will get cancelled? Nothing is getting cancelled. So we have m small v is equal to 2m capital V plus mv. So now I can write V into m minus m is equal to 2 capital M capital V. So small v will be equal to this, and we have to find out the velocities in terms of u. So v is equal to, I can replace capital V in terms of small v, capital V in terms of small v and u. So from there we will be able to do it. So v will be equal to small v minus u divided by m minus m. So from here when we will solve, at one side you can keep v, on another side you will get v in terms of u. So यहाँ से simple calculation है, you can do it. Question number F18. And also before solving these equations, आप लोग अगर option देख लेंगे कि option is given in terms of u, option हमें u के terms में given है, then we will not replace u in terms of v, small v and capital V. What we will do, we want the final equation to have u and small v, because we want to find small v in terms of small u. So in that case what we will do, we will replace capital V in terms of these two. So equation or the calculation will become easier. So we can see the options before solving the equation to make the problems or calculation easier. So question number 18. A scooter of 40 kg mass moving with velocity 4 meter per second collides with another scooter of mass 60 kg and moving with velocity 2 meter per second. After collision, the two scooters stick to each other. The loss in kinetic energy will be. So here we have, first what we'll do, we'll find out the final velocities of the scooters. So first what we have, 40 kg is moving with 4 meter per second and 60 kg is moving with 2 meter per second. So 40 into 4 plus 60 into 2 is equal to, both will move with common velocity because they are getting stick to each other. So 100 into V final. So we have 160 plus 120 is equal to 100 V. So it will be 2.8 meter per second is the speed. Clear? So now initial kinetic energy was half into 40 into 64 plus half into 60 into 4, and final kinetic energy is half into 100 into 2.8 square. So this will be the loss in kinetic energy, because before collision two scooters stick to each other, the loss in kinetic energy is. So before collision we have some kinetic energy, after collision we have some kinetic energy. If we will solve this, we will get the answer. Question number F19. Two spheres approaching each other collide elastically. Before collision the speed of A is 5 and that of B is 10. Their masses are 1 and 0.5 kg. After collision, velocities of A and B are respectively. So collision is head-on and elastic. Clear? So head-on and elastic collision, simply we will use two equations, conservation of linear momentum and coefficient of restitution. So we have two spheres of mass 1 kg and 0.5 kg. They are approaching towards each other. So this is moving with 5, this is moving with 10. After collision their velocities are. So velocity of, let's say it is v1, it is v2. So velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. So velocity of approach is u1 minus u2. So 5 minus 10. So plus 10. So basically 15. And basically they are approaching towards, ये भी approach कर रहा है, ये भी approach कर रहा है. So velocities of approach add हो जाएगी. So we have v2 minus v1 is equal to 15 and 1 into 5 plus, minus 0.5 into 10 is equal to 1 into v1 plus 0.5 into v2. So from here this is 5, this is 5, ये 0 हो गया. So v2 minus v1 is equal to 15 and v1 plus v2 by 2 is equal to 0. So from here 3v by 2 is equal to 3v2 by 2 is equal to 15. So v2 is equal to 10, v2 is equal to 10 and v1 will be equal to, v2 is equal to 10. So v1 will be equal to minus 5. So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? After collision 0.5 and 1 kg. So it is moving with v1 is minus 5. So it is moving with 5 in this direction and it is moving with 10 in this direction. So basically ये अपनी वेलोसिटी पलटा के और ये भी अपनी वेलोसिटी पलटा के चल दिया. So यहाँ पे आंसर will be -5 and 10 meter per second. Question number 20. After falling from a height h and striking the ground twice, the ball rise up to the height where e is the coefficient of restitution. So if on the floor coefficient of restitution is e, so अभी हमने तुरंत ही किया था. Let's say it is falling from height h and after first collision it is going to height h dash. So what we had got that h dash by h was equal to e square. कैसे किया था? So in this case mgh is equal to half mv square, है ना? Here mgh equals to here half mv square. After collision its velocity will be ev. After first collision its velocity will be ev. So mgh dash, it is going with velocity ev. So up to what height it will go? It will go to h dash. So mgh dash is equal to half m e square v square. Now again it is coming back from h dash height. So if you divide these two, h dash by h, you will get e square. Correct? So after first collision, after first rebound, h dash is equal to e square h. H dash is equal to e square h. So after first collision it will go up to what height? E square h height. ठीक है? If it was falling from height h, after first collision it will go to e square h height. Now after second collision, again its velocity of approach was ev. After collision और एक e multiply हो जाएगा e square v. Now in this case let's take it is h double dash. So what I can write? mgh double dash is equal to half m e to the power 4 v square, e to the power 4 v square. So now if you divide these two, what you will get? Or if you divide these two, what you will get? H double dash divided by h is equal to h double dash divided by h equals to half m e to the power 4 v square. So e to the power 4. So h double dash is equal to e to the power 4 into h. So if it is dropped from height h, after first collision it will go to height e square h. After second collision or second rebound it will go to height e to the power 4h. After third rebound it will go to a height of height equal to e to the power 6h. So here in this case they are talking about two rebounds. After two rebounds up to what height it will go? So it will go to a height equals to h into e to the power 4. Option 4. Question number F21. A metal ball of mass 2 kg moving at 36 km per hour collides with a stationary ball of mass 3 kg. If after the collision both balls move together, the loss in kinetic energy will be. Simply initial kinetic energy, final kinetic energy, आपको difference निकालना है, you will get the loss in kinetic energy. So initially we have 2 kg and 3 kg. So 2 kg is moving with 36 km per hour. And if you calculate in meter per second, what you will do? 5 by 18, 2 times it will cancel, so 10 meter per second. And this one is at rest. After they are moving together with some velocity v dash. So what we can write? 2 into 10 is equal to 5 into v dash. So v dash is equal to 4 meter per second. So initial kinetic energy is half m v square plus half m v square is equal to minus, we want to calculate loss, half m v square. So now what we have? This is 0 and 100 minus 40. So it will be 60 joules. So 60 joules energy got lost. So initially we had more kinetic energy. In collision, because it was inelastic, purely inelastic collision, some kinetic energy is lost in the collision. And what was that amount? That was 60 joule. Second option. F22. A rubber ball is dropped from a height of 5 meter. H is equal to 5 meter. On a plane. On bouncing back, it rises to a height h dash is equal to 1.8 meter. The ball loses its velocity on bouncing by a factor of. So basically what will happen? It will drop from height h, its velocity will be v, and then after collision its velocity will be ev, and then it will drop. It will go to a height h dash, and we had found out that h dash divided by h is equal to e square, है ना? Or I can write h dash is equal to e square h. So h dash is 1.8, e square we need to find out, and h is equal to 5. So e square is equal to 18 divided by 50. So if we divide, so it will be 9 and 25. So e will be equal to 3 by 5. So value of e is equal to 3 by 5. So its new velocity is, its initial velocity was v and its new velocity is e times v. So new velocity is e times v. They are asking us to find out the ball loses its velocity on bouncing by a factor of. So what is the lost? So delta v. So delta v will be v final minus v initial. This is a change. By this amount the velocity is lost. So v final is 3 by 5 v and v initial is v. So 3 by 5 v minus v, it will be 2 by 5 v with a minus, and minus is showing that velocity has decreased. So it is the velocity, the particle is losing its velocity by a factor of minus 2 by 5 or the factor of 2 by 5 v. Minus is showing that there is a loss. Clear? So its velocity was initially v. It lost velocity by a factor of 2 by 5 v. So its final velocity is v minus 2 by 5 v, which is 3 by 5 into v. Second option. Question number 23. One sphere collides with another sphere of same mass at rest inelastically. If the value of coefficient of restitution is half, the ratio of their speeds after collision will be. So here we have two masses, same. So initially, if the value of coefficient is half, the ratio of their speeds after collision will be. So let's say its initial velocity is u and it was kept at rest. Its final velocity is v1, its final velocity is v2, and e is equal to given as half. So now what we can write? First, coefficient of restitution, so half is equal to v2 minus v1 divided by u, and second equation will be u1 plus u2 is equal to v1 plus v2. So we have u plus 0 is equal to v1 plus v2. So from here we can write u is equal to 2v1 2v2 minus 2v1. So u is equal to 2v2 minus 2v1. So from, if what I want to find out the ratio of velocities after collision. So what I'll try that I have v1 and v2 in my equation and rest other things are gone. So that's why I am subtracting this. So we have v1 minus 2v2 plus v2 minus plus 2v1, v1 minus 2v2, v2 plus 2v1 is equal to 0. So from here I can write 3v1 is equal to v2. So v1 by v2 is equal to 1 by 3. v1 by v2 is equal to 1 by 3. So the ratio of their speeds v1 is to v2 is 1 is to 3. Answer is third option. Question number F24. A steel ball of radius 2 cm is initially at rest on a horizontal frictionless surface. 2 cm. It is at rest. It is struck head-on by another steel ball of radius 4 cm, which is moving with 81 cm per second speed towards it. The velocities of the two balls after collision are. So here they have not given is it elastic or not. So basically when they have not mentioned, please consider that it is elastic. So now if we see here, it's both are steel balls, it means they will have the same density. So now basically by giving the radius, they have given us the mass indirectly. So its radius is, if its radius is r, its radius is 2r. So if we talk about volume, it will be 4 by 3 pi 2r cube and 4 by 3 pi r cube. And if you multiply density, which is same for both, what will get? 8 times rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube and rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So if this is m, this will be 8 times m. So basically if this has a mass m, its mass is 8m. So now we will use two equations, conservation of linear momentum and coefficient of restitution. So velocity of approach is equal to velocity of separation. Let's take its velocity is v1, its velocity is v2 after collision. So what we can write, velocity of separation is v2 minus v1 and velocity of approach is 81. Second equation is of the conservation of linear momentum. So we have 81 into 8m is equal to mv2 plus 8mv1. So from here what we can write, we have 864 is equal to v2 plus 8v1. Now what I will do, take this on this side. So we have v2 plus 8v1 is equal to 8 and this is 64. So now here we will subtract. So minus minus minus. So v2 got cancelled. We have minus 9v1 is equal to 756 minus 567. So v1 is equal to 63 centimeter per second. v1 is equal to 63 meter per second, and from here v2 is equal to 81 plus v1. So it is 81 plus 63. So it is 414 centimeter per second. So it is 144 centimeter per second. Clear? So answer will be, it is, we have options 72 56, 144 56, 144 63, 63 72. So 144 and 63, third option will be correct answer. Which of the following, F25, which of the following statements is true for collisions? First, momentum is conserved in elastic collision but not in inelastic collision. This is wrong. Second, total kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision but momentum is not conserved. This is also wrong. Both are conserved. Third, total kinetic energy is not conserved in inelastic collision but momentum is conserved. This is right. Total kinetic energy in inelastic collision is not conserved. There is some loss but momentum is conserved. So this is correct. Total kinetic energy and momentum both are conserved in all types of collision. Completely wrong. F26. For a two-particle collision, the following quantities are conserved in general. Kinetic energy? No. Momentum? Yes. Both kinetic energy and momentum? No. Neither kinetic energy nor momentum? No. So option second is correct. F27. A completely inelastic collision is one in which the two colliding particles are separated after the collision? No. In completely inelastic, they are getting stick with each other and they are moving together. So second option is remain together after the collision. Yes. Third, split into small fragments flying in all directions. No. None of the above. Question number F28. In a perfectly, so F27 का answer second. F28. In a perfectly inelastic direct collision, maximum transfer of energy takes place if, so maximum energy transfer takes place when m1 is equal to m2. Clear? m1 is equal to m2. Question number F29. Which of the following statements is true for collisions? First, momentum is conserved in elastic collision but not in inelastic collision. Wrong. Total kinetic energy is conserved in elastic collision but momentum is not conserved. Wrong. Total kinetic energy is not conserved in inelastic collision but momentum is conserved. I think this is the repetition of question number F25. Yes. It is the repetition of F25 and answer will be third option. Total kinetic energy is not conserved in inelastic collision but momentum is conserved. In inelastic collision what we have, there is some loss of energy during the collision. F30. A bullet of mass m is equal to 50 grams strikes a sandbag of mass 5 kg hanging from a fixed point with horizontal velocity Vp. If bullet sticks to the sandbag, then the ratio of final and initial kinetic energy of the bullet is approximately. So what will happen? It is getting stick with the sandbag of, this is 5 kg. So it is coming with velocity Vp, its mass is 50 gram. So initially what we have, Vp, it is coming with Vp. Where is the question? So what we can apply, we can use two equations. First we write conservation of linear momentum. So 50 into 10 to the power minus 3 into Vp is equal to, finally both will move together. So 5 plus 50 into 10 to the power minus 3 into some V. Clear? So final velocity of block as well as the final velocity of the bullet will be same because both are moving together now. So what we can write, final velocity is 50 into 10 to the power minus 3 Vp divided by 5 kg, 5 plus 50 into 10 to the power minus 3. So this will be, if we write minus 2, so 0.05. So 0.05. So this total will be 5.05. Clear? This is the final velocity. So basically we can ignore this. यहाँ पे जो आ रहा है ना आपके पास 5 plus 0.05, we can ignore this, so we have 5. So 5, this is 10. V is equal to 10 to the power minus 2 Vp. So final velocity is 10 to the power minus 2 times initial velocity. So final kinetic energy half m v square. This is final kinetic energy is equal to half m 10 to the power minus 2 Vp square. So it will be half m 10 to the power half m Vp square into 10 to the power minus 4. This is the initial kinetic energy. So final kinetic energy is approximately 10 to the power minus 4 times the initial kinetic energy. So they had asked the ratio of the final and initial kinetic energy of the bullet is approximately. So final kinetic energy, this is kinetic energy final and this is kinetic energy initial. So Ke final by Ke initial is approximately equal to 10 to the power minus 4. Question, its answer is fourth option. Question number F31. There are 100 identical sliders equally spaced on a frictionless track as shown in the figure. Initially all the sliders are at rest. Slider 1 is pushed with velocity v towards slider 2. In a collision, the sliders stick together. The final velocities of the set of the 100 stuck sliders will be. So basically initially what we have one object of mass m and finally its initial velocity was v. Finally all 100 got stuck together. So we have 100 m and it will have some final velocity v dash. So what we can do, conservation of linear momentum we can still apply. So mv is equal to 100 times m into v dash. So v dash will be equal to v divided by 100. Simple. Initially all of them were at rest. Rest of them were at rest. And finally all 100 started moving together with some different velocity. So initially we have mv and finally we have 100 m v dash. So v dash will be equal to v by 100. The coefficient of restitution depends upon, first, the masses of the colliding bodies. नहीं, masses of the colliding bodies पे depend नहीं करता. The direction of motion of the colliding bodies no. The inclination between the colliding bodies no. The materials of the colliding bodies है ना, वो कितना deform होंगे, ठीक है, what will be the deformation, they will get stick with each other or not, it will depend upon the material. Like we had said that अगर हम आटे की एक बॉल लेंगे तो वो क्या होगी, उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे जिस पे कोलाइड करे उस पे शायद वो चिपकी ही रह जाए. एंड इफ इट इज रबर की बॉल है, प्लास्टिक की बॉल है, सो फॉर द डिफरेंट मटेरियल द कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ रेस्टिट्यूशन विल बी डिफरेंट. सो आंसर विल बी फोर्थ ऑप्शन. क्वेश्चन नंबर F33. In an elastic collision of two particles, the following is conserved. Basically these are the repetitions of the questions. And ये सब आप देख लो, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है साइड में कि ये पुराने एग्जाम्स में आए हुए हैं. तो कितने सिंपल क्वेश्चंस हैं. This question is in an elastic collision of two particles, the following is conserved. Momentum of each particle is not conserved. Momentum of the system is conserved. हमने तो देखा था कि भाई if two particles are colliding with each other, there will be some impulsive force on it. It will have some change in momentum. But if we add all those changes in momentum, we will get that net change in momentum is 0. So individual particle will have some change in momentum. So momentum of each particle is not conserved. Speed of each particle is not conserved. It changes. Kinetic energy of each particle is not conserved. We have seen all these cases. Total kinetic energy of the both particles. Yes, when we are talking about elastic collision, the kinetic energies, total kinetic energy of both the particles, total kinetic energy. Definitely they will interchange their velocities, they will have some different velocity after collision, but total kinetic energy is still conserved. Question number F34. A body of mass m1 collides elastically with another mass m2 at rest. There is maximum transfer of energies when both the masses are equal. m1 is equal to m2. So here we have options: m1 greater than m2, m1 less than m2, m1 equal to m2. Same for all values of m1 and m2. So answer will be when m1 is equal to m2. Question number F35. two balls of equal mass moving with equal velocity in mutually perpendicular directions stick together after collision. If the balls were initially moving with velocity of 45 root 2 meter per second each, the velocity of the combined mass after collision is. So two balls of equal masses. So they were moving in mutually perpendicular direction. So it is m. This is also m. ठीक है? That way they'll not collide. So let's say this is m and this is m. दोनों इस तरीके से जा रहे थे. And now दोनों stick होकर के equal velocities. They were moving with equal velocities in mutually perpendicular direction, and they stick together after collision. So they got collided and they are stick to each other after collision. Then what will be the final velocity of the combined masses m1 and or the m and m? So here we have, let's take its velocity is u, its speed is u, so its speed is also u. So p initial will be what? mu I cap plus mu j cap, and finally the system has become 2m, and it will have some velocity v dash that we don't know, or we can write v vector. So p final will be equal to what? 2mv. Now p initial must be equal to p final. So mu I cap plus mu j cap is equal to 2mv. So from here what we are getting? V is equal to u by 2 I cap plus j cap. Now they have given the initial velocities. It is 45 root 2. 45 root 2. If the balls were initially moving with velocity 45 root 2, then the velocities of their combined mass after collision is. So velocity यहाँ पे हमें magnitude पूछा है because options में magnitude है. So now what we have? V is equal to 45 by 2 root 2, and when we will talk about magnitude, इसका magnitude कितना आ जाएगा? Again root 2. So root 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So we have 45 meter per second. So the combined mass will have how much velocity? 45 meter per second. Now इसको आप fast कैसे करोगे? So simply हमें इतना calculation लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है भाई. दो masses हैं, दोनों कितने से चल रहे हैं? या इस तरीके से ले लो. 45 रूट 2 से इधर जा रहा है, 45 रूट 2 से ये इधर जा रहा है. सो नेट मोमेंटम जो आया, एक मोमेंटम इधर आ गया m टाइम्स इतना, एंड दूसरा मोमेंटम m टाइम्स 45 रूट 2 इतना. What will be the net momentum? It will be somewhere here. And what will be the magnitude? This times root 2, because v vector. So resultant will be root 2 v vector. So root 2 times 45 root 2 into m. So it is root 2 times 45 root 2. So 45 into 2m. So now finally this system, this complete system has become 2m. So now 2m is the mass. If you talk about this momentum, 2m is the mass and 45 is the velocity. 2m is the mass and 45 is the velocity. So final velocity is 45. Magnitude of the final velocity is 45. Question number 36. The coefficient of restitution for a perfectly elastic collision is, it is 1. ये CBSE PMT 1988 में आया, इतना simple question. Question number F37. Two perfectly elastic particles P and Q of equal mass traveling along the line joining them with velocities 15 meter per second and 10 meter per second. After collision, their velocities respectively will be. Two perfectly elastic particles having equal masses. So एक इधर आ रहा है 10 से, एक इधर आ रहा है 15 से. So after the collision, what will happen? They'll interchange their velocities. तो ये 15 से जाएगा, जो 10 से जा रहा था वो 15 से, जो 15 से जा रहा था वो 10 से जाएगा. So basically they're going to interchange their velocities. So first what we had 15 10. So afterwards it will be 10 15. So answer will be third option 10 15. Question number F38. A particle of mass m moving with 6 meter per second and capital M moving with 4 meter per second. Here we have m very much less than capital M. Then we have to find out the speed of lighter particle after collision. Speed of lighter particle after collision. So if you remember, हम लोग के पास speed क्या आती है? When we have one mass very much bigger than the other, we get the velocity of lighter particle is equal to 2 into velocity of heavy particle minus initial velocity of lighter particle. Let's say its velocity initial was u2 and its initial velocity was u1, and finally it is v1 and it is v2. Then we had got that v1 is equal to 2u2 minus u1, 2u2 minus u1. This we had got. And अगर आप नहीं करना चाहते तो बस conservation of linear momentum and the coefficient of restitution, write those two equations and take the approximation. Small m by capital M is approximately equals to 0. So what I can write, initial velocities are given, final velocities are, let's say it is v1 and v2. So first equation will be we will have 6m plus 4 capital M is equal to mv1 plus capital mv2, and second equation will be velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach, because it is given in the question that collision is elastic. So velocity of separation is v2 minus v1, velocity of approach is u1 minus u2, so it is 2. Now take mv1, or let's write mv1 plus capital mv2 is equal to 6m plus 4m, and now let's multiply because we want to find out the velocity of second particle, velocity of first particle. तो हम यहाँ पे v2 को कैंसिल कर लेते हैं. So capital M, capital M, capital M. Now minus plus minus. So we have m plus mv1 is equal to minus 2m plus 4m. So 6m plus 2 capital M. Now divide this complete equation by capital M. So what we will have? We will have the equation 1 plus m by capital M v1 is equal to 6m divided by capital M plus 2 into m divided by m1. So this is almost 0. This is almost 0. So v1 is equal to, we have got 2 meter per second. v1 is equal to 2 meter per second, and it has come positive. It means the direction which we have taken is correct. So 2 meter per second in the original direction. So its velocity finally will be 2 meter per second in the original direction. And if we do from that, v1 is equal to 2u1 minus u2. So from there what we'll get? 2u2 minus u1. So 2 into u2 is how much? 4 minus u1 is 6. So from there also we are getting 2 meter per seconds. 2 meter per seconds. Clear? Now question number 39. A body falls on a surface of coefficient of restitution 0.6 from a height of 1 meter. Then the body rebounds to a height of. So h dash will be equal to e square times h. So we have done this question. This question is again repetition. So its answer will be 0.36, because e is equal to 0.6 is given. So h dash is equal to h into e square. So h is 1 meter. It was dropped from height 1 meter. E square is equal to 0.36 to 0.36 meters. Question number F40. A particle of mass m moving towards east with a velocity v collides with another particle of same mass moving towards north with the same speed and adheres to it. So basically it was moving towards this direction and one was moving towards this direction. Both are having mass m. It was moving with speed v towards east and it was moving with speed v towards north. Now these two got attached and total mass is 2m. The velocity of the combined particle is, so now initial momentum is mv I cap plus mv j cap, or you can say it is mv and mv. So finally also the momentum should be, its velocity should be such that its velocity, let's say it is v vector. So its velocity should be such that we will get a resultant vector like this. So resultant vector should be how much? It is root 2 mv. Root 2 mv in which direction? Root 2 mv in 45 degree. है ना? First momentum is mv j cap, momentum is mv I cap, resultant momentum is root 2 mv at 45 degree from the direction of east. है ना? 45 degree आप बोल सकते हो north east में. So this is the resultant direction of momentum. So this is 2m. Its momentum should be root 2 mv in northeast direction. Root 2 mv in northeast direction. So what they have asked, the velocity of the combined particle is. So momentum of this system is 2m into v vector, which is equal to how much? Root 2 mv. So v vector will be how much? M say m cancel. V vector will be v by root 2. है ना, v by root 2 in which direction, north east direction, डायरेक्शन तो यही होगा नॉर्थ ईस्ट, क्लियर, बिकॉज इनिशियली देयर मोमेंटम, their resultant momentum was mv plus mv root 2 mv at an angle 45 degree from the east direction. So later also their momentum should be root 2 mv, but now mass is doubled, so its momentum will be written as mass which is 2m into v, which should be equal to root 2 mv. So velocity कितना आएगा, v by root 2. So v by root 2 along northeast, it is given in the first option. Question number F41, a mass of 10 gram moving horizontally with a speed 100 centimeter per second strikes the bob of a pendulum and sticks to it. So this is 10 gram moving with 100 centimeter per second, strikes the bob of pendulum and sticks to it. The mass of the bob is 10 gram. The maximum height to which the system can be raised is. So now what is happening? It is getting stick to it. So let's say after it got stick to it, the total mass is 20 gram and it is moving with some v dash. So what we can write, 100 centimeter per second into 10 gram is equal to, final is 20 gram into v dash. So from here we will get, this is 2, so 50 centimeter per second is equal to v dash. Now this system is going to move with 50 centimeter per second speed. So up to what height it will go? So here what we can write, conservation of energy. So half into mv, 20 gram into v square. So 50 square centimeter per second square is equal to m into g into h. So h we have to find out. So 20 gram तो 20 gram से cancel हो गया. Now here what we can do, centimeter square. So इसको हम लोग लिख सकते हैं meter per second square into 10 to the power minus 4, and g will be 10 in that case. So h will be equal to how much? So we have 2500 divided by 2 into 10 into 10 to the power minus 4 is equal to h dash. So from here we are getting 10 to the power minus 3. So 12.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter, or if you want to write in centimeter, what we can write, 10 to the power minus 2 into 10 to the power minus 1. So this will be written as 1.25 centimeters. So h will be equal to 1.25 centimeters. So it will go up to height equals to 1.25 centimeter. Question number F42. A particle of mass m moving with velocity v rebounds with the same speed after making impact with a wall. The change in its momentum shall be. So it was going with mv and it is coming back with mv magnitude, clear, of momentum. So now they are asking us the change in momentum. So what is happening? Let's say this is the direction, positive, negative. So first it was having momentum mv and then mv. So P final minus P initial is equal to minus mv. So it is minus 2 mv. Now they have not given us the direction, in which direction we have to take positive, but they have given only one option with this momentum can be mv or it can be 2 mv or minus 2 mv. If we take plus in this direction, minus in this direction, then in that case it will be plus 2 mv. But that's okay because they have given only one option having 2 times mv. So option 1 will be correct, where we have change in momentum is equal to minus 2 mv. Question number 43. An iron ball of mass 100 gram moving at a speed of 10 meter per second strikes a wall at an angle 30 degree and reflects at the same angle. If the ball and wall remain in contact for 0.1 second, the force exerted on the wall will be. So here what we have, a wall on which it is colliding at an angle 30 degree and it was approaching with speed 10 meter per second. And again it got reflected at an angle 30 degree. So we know that this component will get changed and this component will remain same. So this will be 5 root 3 and this will be 5. Afterwards this is 5 and this is 5 root 3. So basically it is coming with 10 meter per second and it is going with the same speed at the same angle. If ball and wall remain in contact for 0.1 second, the force exerted on wall is. So mass is given 100 gram and time is 0.1 second. So what is happening? It is coming with 10 meter per second. This component will remain same. This component will remain same because there is no force no impulsive force in this direction. There is impulsive force only in this direction. When they will collide, the normal force will act perpendicular to the wall. Clear? So now finally it has a momentum in exactly opposite direction when we talk about the horizontal direction, or the direction which is perpendicular to the wall. So now here what we will write? The change in momentum. This part has no change in momentum, so we will just ignore it. So change in momentum for the ball will be equal to P final. So इधर हम positive लेते हैं, इधर negative. So initially the momentum was 5 into m, 5 into its mass, and finally it is minus 5m. So P final is minus 5m minus P initial is 5m. So it will be minus 10m, and mass is given as 100 grams. So minus 10 into 100 into 10 to the power minus 3. So it will be minus 1 Newton second. Minus 1 Newton second. Now we know force is equal to dP divided by dt. So dP is minus 1 Newton second and dt is 0.1 second. So force will be equal to minus 10 Newton. Force will be equal to minus 10 Newton, which is acting on this wall or on this ball. Question number F44. If a ball of mass 10 gram strikes perpendicular on a hard floor with speed 5 meter per second and rebounces with the same speed and remains in the contact with the floor for 1 second, then the force applied on the ball by the floor is. So this is the same question like this question. So there it is given that the object is hitting the ground perpendicularly, or it is colliding with this floor perpendicularly, and the speed with which it is colliding is 5 meter per second. So basically it is the same case. We have just ignored this component and we have made it vertical. So now mass is 10 gram and it is striking the hard floor perpendicular with speed 5 meter per second and rebounces with the same speed 5 meter per second and remains in contact for 1 second. So यहाँ पे delta P क्या आ जाएगा? Delta P is again P final minus P initial. Let's say it is positive, this is negative. So 5m minus 5m, so plus 5m, it is 10m. M is 10 gram. So now here we have 0.1. Delta P is equal to 0.1 and F is equal to delta P divided by delta T. Delta P divided by delta T. Delta P is equal to 0.1 and delta T is equal to 1 second. So in this case we will get F is equal to 0.1 Newton. So in this question answer is given as 100 Newton, but answer will be 0.1 Newton. And in previous question also answer is given as 1 Newton, but in that case we have got answer is equal to 10 Newton, I think. Yes, we have got answer is equal to 10 Newton. So there will be a change in the answers for these two questions. So we have done the section F of exercise 1 of the center of mass.